Today's third video, viewers, four news stories. Firstly, massive protests have been seen in several parts of Ethiopia today against Muslim killings which happened in Gondar yesterday and the night between Tuesday and Wednesday. Where were these protests held, and what is overall situation in Gondar now? Have any leaders, government officials arrived in Gondar? Second news story is from Oromia region, where there is an ongoing military operation against Oromo Liberation Army. At the same time, the region is battling with catastrophic drought. More than 1 million cattle have perished in Oromia. Thirdly, while Tigray forces have withdrawn from the Afar region, neighboring Afar region, now Afar news sources are sharing pictures, videos that Tigray forces inflicted heavy losses on civilian infrastructure. Some mass graves are being shown by Afar news sources, Afar authorities. And lastly, viewers, we know that 2 days ago I reported about more than 500 Tigrayan members of Ethiopian National Defense Force who decided against returning to Ethiopia, who were working as UN peacekeepers in Abyei, Sudan, South Sudan, UN peacekeeping mission. 528, I think, they decided to seek asylum in Sudan. Now, Ethiopian National Defense Force, Ethiopian Army, has released a statement about these Tigrayans. What is ENDF saying? What is ENDF's position? Why are these hundreds of Tigrayans seeking asylum in Sudan? We'll have a detailed look at ENDF's statement, ENDF's position about these Tigrayans who are seeking asylum in Sudan, who say they could face persecution, they could face imprisonment if they return to Ethiopia. Firstly, viewers, Gondar, we have been updating you since last night about religious violence in Gondar city. More than 20 Muslims were killed in religious violence there. The violence started at the funeral of a local cleric, Sheikh Kamal. People say, Sajid, you are fueling this conflict. I am not fueling this conflict. I am sharing this development with you very objectively, without taking any sides. You cannot keep such developments buried. You have to report about them. People must know what's happening there. I am not adding something to the situation from my own side. I am just reporting facts. And the purpose of making videos is to make people learn what is happening in Gondar. We are not backing any group, but more than 20 innocent civilians have been killed. So we should not report their killings. We should report about their killings, about the incident. But we are not accusing any particular individual or group, though in the protests held today, people chanted slogans against Fano. But even, despite the fact that people are blaming Fano, and we have seen slogans against Fano, we are not blaming Fano as a whole. Yes, some individuals could be involved there. Now, protests were seen across Ethiopia today, in Dire Dawa, in Oromia, in Addis Ababa. Several large protests were held to condemn the deaths of Muslim community members at the hands of other groups in Gondar yesterday and last night. Massive protests, especially in Dira Deva, in Oromia as well. And people chanted slogans against Fano as well. Has any top Amhara government leader arrived in Gondar? We have learned that Amhara region's vice president is in Gondar. I personally think that Yilkal Kifale should have been in Gondar. It's a very important development. It could have serious repercussions for the overall law and order situation in the Amhara region. So top Amhara leaders must be on the spot. They must try to control the situation. Meetings are underway reportedly involving religious leaders, scholars, community elders to bring peace. Situation is under control in the area. Security forces are patrolling the streets of Gondar. Watch some clips from Dera Deva, Oromia, Addis Ababa. You can see massive protests today against Muslim community member killings in Gondar yesterday and last night. Secondly, viewers, while Oromia regional government, Ethiopian federal government are preoccupied with the ongoing military operation against Oromia Liberation Army, the drought ongoing in the Oromia region is engulfing parts of Oromia. Some figures, some numbers have been shared with us by some aid agencies about the losses suffered by some areas due to this ongoing drought. It is being said that so far in Oromia region alone, 1.3 million cattle have perished. 1.3 million cattle. What would be the price of 1.3 million cattle? I think it would be billions of Ethiopian birrs. So while the region is battling with this crippling drought in parts of Borana and other zones, government forces, government machinery, government departments, they're focused on the ongoing military operation against Oromia Liberation Army. Can we say that it was the right time to start a military operation in Oromia? While the region was facing a disaster because of this drought, which is spreading, no rainfall is being expected in coming days. And some say that this drought could worsen in Oromia, in Somali region. So while people are battling with this crisis, government departments, government agencies, they're focused on eliminating, so to say, Oromo Liberation Army. This is the time to focus on this drought. Aid agencies say around 20 million people in Ethiopia, Somalia, Kenya could be in dire need of food aid because of this catastrophic drought. That shows the gravity of the situation. But we're not seeing the urgency that should be there to tackle this drought. Instead, we are seeing regional forces, federal forces, ENDF, federal police, they are involved. And when you mobilize these forces, does it cost any, does it have any cost? Yes, it has cost. You need money to mobilize forces. You need funds. So funds are going to military, to forces, because they are involved in the ongoing operation against OLA. These funds must be directed towards this drought, to counter this drought. But the priorities are decided by the rulers, and they are now focused on OLA. They want to eliminate OLA. Thirdly, viewers, Afar region of Ethiopia, Tigray forces have withdrawn from Afar. Afar news sources are sharing pictures, videos. They say that Tigray forces destroyed civilian infrastructure. Some mass graves are being shown. You can see some pictures on your screen. The picture is from Magale, a Wareda situated to the south of Abala. Here, Afar news sources say that a mass grave has been uncovered and more than a dozen civilians were buried there, and Tigray forces are involved in this mass murder. We saw similar pictures, videos from Amhara as well, when Tigray forces withdrew from Amhara region, that Tigray forces were involved in destroying infrastructure, in killing people, in large number. But we did not see any independent investigation. That is what is needed. Afar government should invite international bodies, international investigative bodies, international humanitarian, human rights bodies, not humanitarian, human rights bodies to come to Afar to investigate. Otherwise, the claims have been shared by Amhara region as well. Tigray will keep on denying these claims. What is needed is some independent international inquiry into all these allegations of atrocities committed in Afar, Tigray and Amhara. Lastly, Ethiopian National Defense Force has released a statement about hundreds of Tigrayans who sought asylum in Sudan. 2 days ago, I reported about around 528 Tigrayan members of Ethiopian National Defense Force who announced to seek asylum in Sudan. They were deployed as UN peacekeepers to RBA, Sudan, South Sudan UN peacekeeping mission. Now, what is ENDF saying? Ethiopian National Defense Force says that in November 2020, ENDF's northern command in Tigray was attacked from inside and from outside. Tigrinya speaking members of ENDF were involved in the attack on ENDF in Tigray in November 2020, and Tigray forces were also involved. What happened after that? After that, a military campaign against Tigray was launched, and Tigrinya speaking members of Ethiopian National Defense Force, they were told to stay at home. ENDF says they were told to stay at home. Tigray says that they were arrested. ENDF says that they were told to stay at home, but their salaries were not discontinued. They kept on receiving their salaries while they were at home. The peacekeepers who were deployed abroad, Tigrinya speaking, they were told to continue their work. But according to Ethiopian National Defense Force, TPLF spread this propaganda that if Tigrinya speaking ENDF members return to Ethiopia, they could be arrested. So that is why last year in Darfur, Tigrinya speaking ENDF members, they refused to return home. And here ENDF levels a serious allegation. ENDF says that those who refuse to return from Darfur to Ethiopia, those Tigrinya speaking ENDF members, they later joined TDF fighters, Samri fighters, and some of them were killed fighting in Sudan. They are fighting in support of Samri Tigray youth group fighters, and they were fighting Ethiopian government forces on Sudan-Ethiopia border. A very serious allegation. And lastly, Ethiopian National Defense Force is urging Tigrinya speaking ENDF members that they should return to Ethiopia. They should not lose their benefits. Their hard earned benefits, they should not lose. They will not be persecuted or imprisoned. Let's see. And lastly, ENDF further says that those thousands of Tigrinya speaking ENDF members who were told to stay at home, they will return to work. So it means that thousands who are in detention, but ENDF says they're working, they're staying at home. They will be part of ENDF. They will remain part of ENDF. That is what Ethiopian National Defense Force is saying. Thank you for watching.